Yay, okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riding the Pine. I'm Jake. We have John, Dom, and we have Joel. All of us have hair game on fleek. We were talking about this off air for the 17th time because we just can't get this to fucking work. Joel has the best hair of the group, I think.
Today.
John has the best beard. Dom has the most potential, and I'm just the median. I'm just where it all settles, down in the middle. But anyways, oh, nice graphics, John. Nice. I didn't notice until just now how many nice graphics you put in there. Man, John, technical whiz, I tell ya. So today,
I do my best.
We actually are talking about things. If this doesn't totally fuck up, we're talking about how to fix the NFL's scheduling because the Thursday games are cancerous. I'm pretty sure Anne Frank would have thrown herself in the oven if she had to watch a Thursday night game. We're also going to talk about the kickoff situation in the NFL because let's face it, the kickoffs are so boring because they moved it back and they thought that giving people an extra 5 yards would add more scoring. I'm not sure that's accurate, but we'll talk about that. And then last but not least, I found something really cool for all your Christmas lists out there, and I want the guys' opinions on all of this. But before all that, we have to talk about something very serious. Dom, how you feeling today?
I'm having a
Bring
pretty good day.
Bring the fire. Fire.
You know what? I'm having a good day. The Donald is having an exceptional day because he's gonna be president of the United States somehow, some way.
The Donald Trump. It's tremendous.
Yes, I was sitting in my $20 million private jet, and I was just waiting for Hillary to win the election like I always thought she would, and I won. Somehow. So, I'm gonna be president. So, first order of business, we're gonna lock her up. And throw Jerry Jones in there too, because he's a bonehead.
He's a bonehead? I like that. That's a very New York slight. That sounds like something that someone would call me if I walked down New York. Hey, you bonehead!
You do have a very large pronounced forehead.
Yeah, I do. That's why I said
I'm
it all
gonna take
settles.
Colin
It all
Kaepernick
settles right
and
here.
I'm gonna revoke his citizenship. That's a thing.
Oh God. Okay, Dom. I'm sorry.
And we're gonna
All right.
we're gonna build a wall around Cleveland.
I think we're gonna assassinate you and just get Pence up in this shit.
So
Pence electrocute.
John
stingy.
Pence.
John Pence.
we need Donald Trump. We know you always have the best words, but the problem is right now, no one can hear any of you. You got to turn your volumes up.
Motherfucker.
Have you considered that it's in OBS? And
So
your
they can-
desktop audio is very low.
They can hear me fine. They just can't hear you guys.
Right. Your desktop audio in OBS.
Okay, let's
is
give
it
that a
set
shot.
correctly?
That
Let's
was
give that
such
a
a great
shot.
It was
bit,
set
too.
low.
Fuck.
If it was set low, it will not work.
Everybody could hear you.
It was a limited.
It was just
bit.
low.
Now, okay, everyone can hear. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna assume the desktop audio was lower than your mic audio.
I'm gonna assume it too.
Did I assume correctly?
You did.
Did I assume correctly?
Yeah. And now you know what? They're set the same.
It's a
So I
wizard,
bet
Gary.
everyone can hear everyone, and they all
Yeah.
love all of us.
So
and I am the greatest.
Don't low volume Dom and Jake and Joel.
He was
Ooh.
rigging it. Is what was going
John
on.
was high volumed.
He was rigging the stream.
God damn it, John! Quit rigging shit.
Oh, I would have been heard if all the
Had to
millions
rig
of
the volume.
illegal audio mixers hadn't voted.
Dom, you only had an 8% chance of that volume being correct.
Joel Silver needs to take over our fucking sound department because it is a tragedy in
We
here.
got it. We're in. Let's do this.
Okay,
We are
Joel,
in,
do you have any fucking
motherfuckers.
thing to add before we jump into the conversation? Christ!
No, I think we pretty much
Good.
killed that segment.
Good! Great! This is going well.
I'll just bury it and let's move on.
All right. So So, the NFL's Thursday night games have been garbage. Almost as garbage as our production value tonight.
Almost.
Just not quite. Like,
Almost.
quite.
they have billions of dollars. They should do a little bit better.
Well,
But yeah, this is the
you
quality
ever
of the
seen those NBC games? Their audio.
I've seen your face.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Oh.
So the Thursday night games have sucked because most of the players, like for instance this past Thanksgiving, Andrew Luck did not play in the fucking Thanksgiving game, and we got, who was it? I don't even remember that guy's name. Jim Sorgi? No, that was the guy from years ago.
Tolzien.
Who was it?
Tolzien.
I thought he was a
Scott
kicker.
Tolzien?
Scotty Tolzien.
Wow.
thought he was
Yeah,
a
no,
kicker.
I'm pretty sure he's a placeholder on the practice squad. But anyways, he started at quarterback. Garbage game. The only good game was really the Lions-Vikings game, right?
Get out of here.
Other than that, it was kind of
Vikings.
fest.
I
Dude,
don't
it was a very good game, regardless of the outcome. I would say that the loss to the Titans was also a good game. So fuck you, Joel. Anyways,
Well, and so here's the thing. So obviously there's always going to be football on Thursday on Thanksgiving, right? But I think an easy way to handle it is you have those guys come off of a bye week and play their Thursday.
oh, I thought you were gonna say just have them go no matter what.
Fuck it.
Donald Trump.
I want to
John
play games
Pence.
every day.
John Pence and
Screw
Donald
it.
Trump.
Every single day. Only kickers.
John Dom.
And we're going to build a wall at
I
the
do-
5-yard line.
Oh
They couldn't
man.
pay for it.
Oh good. The Browns would never get over that wall.
No.
So, for the sake of argument, I agree with you. I think they should add add one bye week, have 2 bye weeks, have it go 18 weeks of meaningful football, still 16 games, but you'd have 2 byes. And all you got to do really is say, okay, if you have a Thursday game, you get a bye the week before, right? So you get 10 to 9 or 10 days of rest. And then you get like 10 or 11 days off after that, depending on if you play a Sunday or Monday game next. And I feel like that takes care of everything. And you do a bunch of different things for the NFL. Number one, and most importantly, more important than any of the other fucking issues, it's not player safety. It's fucking, the games would be good, right?
Yeah.
We had to have 10 days, because this would go for both teams, of course, because they're both playing on Thursday. They would be able to prepare for now. I'm not saying that like a team like I don't know, the Rams would be well prepared. I mean,
Not with Jeff
Fisher over there just be like, I don't know, run the ball. Fuck you, Eric Dickerson. And then it would it would improve the games, but also it would let people like Andrew Luck, who experienced concussion symptoms super late, be able to play in this sort of game.
Mm-hmm.
So it increases player safety overall, player health more than player safety. But it also gives you 18 marketable weeks of TV games. Like, there's no losing here. Is there any other thing? Like, and also I would like to maybe take a preseason game out. But
I think it's a pretty good plan. No objection from me.
nothing to add or
I
any
mean,
opinion on any.
Donald thinks your plan is
He's just
garbage
gonna
and would
co-sign
probably
it,
deport
sounds
you,
like.
but we're driving that bit into the ground already.
Donald's gonna start the XFL 2.0, and they will do wrestling
playing the
moves on top of hookers.
On blimps.
Pretty
On
much.
blimps. We will play on blimps. Tiny blimps. Real small, like shoe blimps. Everyone has 2 blimps.
I'll tell you what, Jake. I'll one up
Sky
you
football.
on the weeks. Give
Yeah.
me 19 and take 2 preseason games, turn them into regular season games, and then give them at least
Whoa.
1 extra bye and 1 more
So-
change.
So 18 regular season games?
Yes, that's what they've been moving to for a long time now. They've been talking about it for like the past like 2 or 3 years at least in the ownership meetings and stuff like that. So I think this is something they want to do, and I'd rather see 2 regular season games than 2 more preseason games. Let the first 2 preseason games be just a lot of guys trying to make the team and doing all that stuff, and then give us 2 more real games, get a couple more buys in there, and kick the roster up. This is the key to 60 players on the active roster, so we can deal with some of these injuries.
It's only, what, 52 right now?
53, and then you can only
53?
dress 46, I believe.
Yeah.
So
That's
you've got to
craziness,
cut
yeah.
down on game day even more. It's not good.
Okay, I'd like to address this, but I want John to be able to chime in before we hit this longer season thing.
So the first thing I wanted to say is you have to expect that Dom's responses are going to be a little short because remember that he's channeling Donald Trump, who has all the best words but never seems to be able to use them.
Listen.
Throw the dead fish out again.
That may have been your best work of the night so far, Dom.
That was a good one. I like that. Good recovery, Dom.
Yeah.
As far as the season is concerned, are you saying 19 games and 17 are played?
Yeah, 19 total weeks, I think,
And
is the idea here. For him, mine is 18
I
with
like-
a standard 16-game schedule.
18,
His is
16,
add another game, right?
Yeah.
Or 2 games.
Well, it's moving 2 games into the regular season and then adding one.
So it'd be
possibly 2
20
extra
weeks
buys.
of football.
Well,
That's 20 weeks.
If you listen to how the coaches talk, they already talk about 20 weeks. Like, especially for a lot of the rookies, they're talking about how, at this point their college season's done, how it's a 20-week season. It's a lot longer than they're used to. But yeah, I mean, for a lot of the veterans, they're not playing in much of those preseason games. But a lot of these players are playing really 20 games a year.
Sure. Okay, I kind of see that. John, did you have anything else to add? Like, do you have another like an idea here? Because I do want to again address Joel's idea here, but I want to make sure you get your.
Well,
your
so
time.
honestly, the way I've always looked at it is I like the idea of 18-16. So you got 18 full weeks, but 16 of those weeks are played football with 2 bye weeks. As far as the Thursday night thing is concerned, I think that should be the only time you're ever actually saying, let's have a team play, is after they're coming. So week 1, and then when they're coming off of any bye week, that's when teams should be able to play Thursday night games. Other than that, I'd frankly just get rid of them. But as far as the 18-16, that's kind of where I've leaned. I'm intrigued by this 19-17 because you're adding a week to statistics at that point again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair enough.
A lot of the
would change the
record
numbers a
book
little bit.
people. Yeah, I think that'd be like an asterisk next to the after the fact. Like that suddenly puts Peyton Manning's records, for instance,
Yeah.
in clear
I think it was in
jeopardy.
the
I
70s.
mean, what is it? If you played 8 seasons, that'd be a whole extra season's worth of numbers you could put up.
Right, and this was a big
So-
argument when they stretched the season from 14 to 16. This was a big
Sure.
concern because people were starting to care about stats. Back in the 60s, 50s, 40s, stats were kept, but nobody really had the drive for stats except for the coaches. They
didn't even keep record of sacks till like what 91,
Yeah.
92.
Yeah.
Sacks
So-
or any of that.
But it does
Some
create
slow
an
coming.
interesting thing for the stats, and that's a bigger thing. But I think maybe the bigger issue, and you hit it on the head here, is the idea of stretching the active roster to 60 and just being able to dress all 60 of them and start to be able to let guys rotate in and out more. That's an idea that I didn't even think about, and I like a lot.
I think a roster increase would be great, actually. Maybe even past 60, maybe like to 62 or something, because, again, injuries are frequent, especially in today's NFL, despite, the NFL's best efforts. And I'm always feeling like there's always a crunch to be made, especially with the 40, the 46-player suit-up rule. I feel like that needs to be increased above all things. I'd jack that up to at least 50.
I'd say just a full roster. I have an expanded idea that takes all of this into account, and I want you to hear me out.
All right.
Master
now-
plan from Jake.
Glorious
Master plan. So
Jake.
we go with
Agility.
Joel's schedule. So there'd be 18 regular season games, 2 buys, and I assume that means a lot of teams are going to play more than one Thursday game. I mean, the Lions,
Possibly.
Cowboys, and who's the other team? They're all locked into one Thanksgiving game.
It's the Steelers, maybe.
Is it the Steelers? Yeah. So they're all locked into a Thursday game for sure in November. That's fine. Totally fine with that. But what I think you should do, keep it at 53 for a little bit, the first half of the season, because part of the competitiveness of the NFL is finding, depth and making those cuts. And part of the strategy is okay, we need this amount of players. Sometimes teams go with 2 quarterbacks instead of 3 so they can keep an extra wide receiver or a nickel back or, just something like that. Or other running backs. Usually it's running backs because they just break so much. But or linebackers. So I'm fine with that. But keep it at 53 for the first little bit. Have minor league NFL football. So every single team has another minor league team in their home state or adjacent state. You could set rules, but it should be an adjacent state. I think that's probably the best. So the Lions, for instance, could have like a team in Columbus, Ohio. I think they shouldn't do that because Michigan and Ohio sucks. But if they wanted to do that, whatever. And have them play a 10-game season starting in the NFL preseason. That's the kickoff. So the NFL preseason, you got 2 games, or 2 weeks, I should say, of NFL preseason football, which isn't much. It's like the spring training. But during that, you have the minor league kickoff. So you would have these teams like, I don't know, you could roster anywhere from 40 to another 53. Who cares? They would play till week 10, and then you have expanded rosters for the second half of the season. So you'd have from week 10, that's the first half of the season because we're going 20 weeks. Weeks 11 and on, you have expanded rosters like in baseball, which really helps with pitching, specifically in the majors. And then you could trim down to playoff rosters again because part of the competitiveness of the NFL is, okay, we only got these 53 guys. We can only suit up these so many. These are the guys who are healthy because it's a marathon league, just like the NBA and baseball. I mean, the marathon is part of the strategy that makes the NFL great. So pare it down at the end so you can have fresh bodies throughout the regular season, especially the second half, which is the most important part. But in the playoffs, those guys are gone again. And now you have, say, for instance, you could have, so we got college football, Saturdays mostly. Of course, they do some fucky games here and there. Like I live in Boise. Boise State plays on Fridays for the first half of the season sometimes. It's super weird. But we have Thursday night football, of course, with the bye weeks. We have Sunday night football, of course, or Sunday football all day. Then Monday night football. So that's fantastic. So you just pick Tuesday or Wednesday to have your minor league games. I am not one to not want more football. And if I can see the Lions' next best quarterback prospect or a defensive tackle for whoever your favorite team is, and like that's a high pick. Like think of this. You could have seen, if you're a Denver fan, you could have seen what's his face with the gross face and the hair and the that thing. I don't, like what is this thing? Just get rid of that. But you could have seen him play.
Moves up and down when he talks too.
So it's so bad. Seriously, I'm forgetting his name though. The fuck is his name? The fuck is his name? Guys,
Simeon?
all I can think is Dak Prescott. Okay.
Oh,
That's Trevor Simeon.
No, not Trevor Simeon, the other guy.
didn't you say Denver?
Yeah, Denver, the rookie. The rookie guy.
Paxton.
Paxton Lynch. Thank you. It was Dak
There you
Prescott,
go,
but
Jesus
he's baby skin smooth and biracial angel.
No, Angel.
Dak Prescott though
Dak.
is great. Paxton Lynch is garbage. It was Paxton Lynch.
Paxton Lynch looks like the old school Buccaneers.
But you
logo.
can watch him play a game of football in the system because you could use, like, say, the wide receivers coach or a secondary farm system worth of coaches that you could bring up. Again, this helps your coaching as well. And because of the practice rules in the NFL, you can't do full contact. You get full contact practice out of your minors, and it's the first 10 weeks. So if a guy gets hurt, it doesn't hurt your playoff push. You could send rookies down, get real game time experience against NFL-worthy talent, and we get more football, and we get to watch more, and they make more money, and we get to buy your fucking merchandise. And I just think that's fantastic. I love minor league baseball. I wish they only had one level, but I understand why they don't, because it's such a finicky game. But anyways,
And
that is my long-winded spiel on how we should fix the NFL. You're welcome.
I mean, I dig it. I definitely I get your points with the strategy as far as like the active roster and all that, because there's like, for example, our coach here is using it as like a punishment tool for players that aren't, performing up to their abilities.
I'm fine with that. Randy Gregory would be playing right now in the minors.
Yeah,
Or think of
and that's the
Pac-Man
thing.
Jones. Pac-Man Jones, in the first 5 years of his career, could have used minor leagues.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's players every year that go undrafted that turn out to be really great players in the league. So I think there's talent out there that could, just need an opportunity to shine. And
the Canadian Football League exists. Like, just absorb that shit. Fuck you, Canada.
we've been
Didn't we already try that once in 1812?
Yeah, we won or something.
I think I read about that in what do you call things that open with the pages?
Google.
New York Times, the crooked New York Times.
Crooked New York Times, always trying to
Anyway,
defame.
I'm sorry, Joel.
Speaking of Trump, though, the USFL used to play springtime football when they were popular, and they were rivaling the NFL as far as ratings, playing in their off season. They had a really good thing going before Donald Trump came in and ruined it all.
And also move the Pro Bowl till long after the fucking Super Bowl. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Long
too.
after. Like, give us 2 weeks of Super Bowl cool down and be like, hey, we're coming back to Honolulu. It'll be fun. And we'll then do a stills competition. I can fix that too, NFL.
Yeah.
I can fix that too.
I'd say 3 weeks, honestly.
So I absolutely love the idea of minor league football, and it seems like it's really the only American sport that didn't develop a minor league system. I mean, I guess I can't really call hockey an American sport, but
yeah, them Hoosiers will get mighty angry.
Oh man, minor league hockey is some of the best entertainment you can get for cheap.
Yeah, we have a minor league hockey team in town, and they're great to watch.
We've got a single A baseball team up the road from me. That's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, minor league sports are a lot of fun, and I
watch
with football being as long as it takes to develop into the right size and the full player, because I think it's the sport with the longest development time. You would figure that that they'd go right after that, and I don't know if the college game kind of screws that, because a lot of
this though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are hesitant because they want rookies in NFL uniforms now. And
minor leagues is an NFL uniform. It would have the NFL patch right the fuck on it.
Right.
Like that's professional football. But think of this: the NCAA, if they're like, okay, we capitulate, you can have minor leagues. What they can do is they can lift the rule that says you have to be a sophomore before you have to complete your sophomore year before you can declare for the draft. So they can get rid of that, so they can get more people that want to do one and dones, just like the NCAA men's basketball. And then you can say, okay, well, we don't have to pay you. Go to the fucking minors and get paid if you want to get paid to play football. You're here for an education. And then, so it's a cop-out for the NCAA and the NFL. It's total win. There's no way that's not a win for everybody involved.
College football would probably suffer as a result, though.
No, Joel. Dom has to talk.
I barely ever do, so savor it.
You're not looking into the camera either. I don't understand that. I don't know what's going on over there.
I was checking my notes.
You have notes?
Yeah, I have notes.
Oh gosh, you're so much more prepared than I am. Oh fuck. New kid's my job.
The only problem is we have a AAA baseball team in town, and it's actually the team Steven Strasburg went through before he was brought up to the MLB, and I hesitate to say the minors ruined him, but
no, fuck that. I watched Clayton Kershaw pitch a near perfect game for $15 behind home plate.
Yeah.
For the Great Lakes Loons, and I ate ice cream out of a tiny helmet, Dom.
I got to see.
Can't even fit it on a human head. It's only for ice cream.
I got to see El Duque pitch his very first game in the United States against the Rochester Red Wings. Now, he beat the Red Wings 4-3. He was pitching for the Columbus Clippers at the time. But holy fuck, I got to go see El Duque pitch his first game in the U.S. for $8.
That's awesome.
I was talking about the entertainment value. I'm not debating the entertainment value. I'm debating the efficacy of the players. I don't know. A lot of players.
There's no debate that the minor leagues helps the MLB.
Oh yeah.
None whatsoever. Now, Steven Strasburg, his problem has always been his mechanics, and I know we're getting into baseball, and I know not many of you are interested, but hold on. Mark Pryor had the same shit happen. His mechanics were all out of whack, and his shoulder and everything is just fucked because they knew he was a violent thrower. That's Strasburg's problem. Clayton Kershaw was like 18 years old when I watched him play. Didn't hurt him none. He's fine. He's doing things. He throws loopy balls and fast ones. That's baseball terms, right? Sorry, Joel. You were going to say something at one time.
I'm going to add to your master plan a little bit with the with the minor league teams, because one of my real issues, especially this year, Roger Goodell's full of shit. The refereeing has been awful in the
terrible.
NFL.
So bad.
And so there's a few things
the
I think
referees could use some work in the minors too.
Exactly. Okay, so let's
Fucking
make these
hell
guys full-time employees of the league.
Yes.
All right. Let's hold these guys
Oh,
accountable
fuck yeah.
and demote them if they have shitty games.
Agreed.
Like I've seen so many of these, and it drives me nuts.
Also,
Yeah,
by the way,
if they attempt to strike.
how they do it in the major leagues, when they want to do a rule change, they run it through the minors first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they
that
test
would
it
be
out
great,
there.
too.
So if you want to do a rule change, the NFL, okay, it's on the docket. If it gets a certain percentage of the, I think it's the owners that do that in the competition league. Or what is the competition?
Competition committee. It's usually a bunch of
Committee.
Like,
That's
coaches
a
and
thinking
GMs and
cabinet.
whatnot.
So much
Jeff Fisher's
Donald
been
on the
on
mind.
it forever.
Fuck Jeff Fisher. Run the ball. I don't know.
More
Mustaches.
climate change deniers and creationists, please. I think that's what our country needs right now.
God damn it, Don. Anyways, but
Listen,
you
all
could
I'm
just run it
saying
for a
is
year in the
guys-
minors and then work your way up. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, there's another
Also,
thing.
you could teach these fucking wide receivers to put 2 feet in the fucking playing field before they catch
Yes.
a ball.
Oh,
And
man.
on the 6th day, Drew Brees rose again in fulfillment of the scriptures.
All right.
What?
All of a
So-
sudden, Trump's a Breeze fan too. The New Orleans Saints.
Anyways,
So
It
there's
was
another-
Oh, one more.
genius.
Hold on.
God.
well, okay, Dom, I'm gonna kill you. So one more thing, they were talking in the chat that Arena Football League is kind of minor league football. It's not. They're unaffiliated.
The
And
rules are so
The
different.
rules are super different.
Yeah.
And we had an Arena Football League. I think they still have the Arena Football team in Saginaw, Michigan, and they did real well. None of those fuckers are ever going to sniff an NFL roster. They have NFL coaches, and they don't play the same rules, and they don't have the same, body types because they don't need to be. Like it's totally different games. It's like playing. You remember Air Force? They call it different shit all the time, but it's like playing Air Force in gym class, where you can throw the ball and you can only move when you catch it. Or you have to stop moving when you catch it, I guess.
Yeah.
And you gotta throw it
Yeah,
another time.
We call that
It's
handball
basically
down in the civilized parts.
handball.
Yeah.
No, handball is a whole other. You slap it and shit. God damn it, Tom.
Different
Anyway,
games.
John, you were gonna say a thing.
So one of the things that I was gonna say is I think another thing that maybe the NFL isn't thinking about in terms of minor league football is baseball suffers from regionality, but it suffers in riches because baseball is awash in money, and it's all because of the regionality of the sport, and then that all carries nationally. NFL did a great job of becoming a national sport, but it's not regional in the same way that baseball is, and I think there's a whole untapped market of regionality that the NFL is missing by not developing some kind of a league. And you've seen them try to squash leagues, the UFL, the USFL, all these other leagues that try to come up, they squash it. They should be they should do the old NFL AFL thing, absorb these leagues and make them minor.
Oh man, like I'm telling you, the people here, if you put the Seahawks affiliate in Boise, Idaho,
People lose their shit.
all of them would lose their minds. Mormons would deconvert. They would burn down temples to get tickets. It would be fucking crazy here. Like, they go crazy about that team that plays on the blue turf.
Yeah.
That's not even that
Yeah.
good this year. They go nuts for it. Like, think about, like, and they love the Seahawks too, or the Broncos. So either way, but
Let me throw another cherry on top then, because we're talking about NFL always wanting to go to London and Mexico City. Why not have
there
some
you
minor
go.
league teams there? We can test it out with the minor leagues. I thought the Mexico
Oh.
City game was awesome, by the way. The crowd was huge.
except for that fucking laser guy.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Blake.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I mean, it was Bork Laser,
not-
right? It was super fitted, wasn't it?
Oh, it was,
Laser
wasn't
got
it?
lasered.
I didn't think about that. Well done. Well done. So does anybody else have anything like how to fix the NFL? Stab it, puppy!
Yeah,
My dog just
Get
knocked
rid
on
of
my
the
door.
25
He's got a
yard
cone
rule
on
and
his head
kickoff.
because I cut his balls off.
All right,
Darwin.
so I have to
And
say,
stuff.
as a quick aside there, Dom, we've been asked to address why it looks like you're hiding in a bunker. Are you waiting for the recount to be over, or what's going on?
I can neither confirm nor deny these accusations.
Wow, yeah. Asking Dom to go off the top of his head, not a good plan. You should
No, you
write.
can't
You should
just
write
put
a
this on
list
me. Oh.
of reports down in Donald's voice, and we could. Do we have to fucking prepare bits for you? I'll do it.
We'll script this shit out.
Donald,
We will. Yeah.
Donald has the best words, but only ahead of time.
Let me get you one of those teleprompters, and then you can be like 2 Corinthians.
The third day Drew Brees rose again. Oh shit, I already used that.
Yeah, you know my favorite book is Corinthians 2. Next.
What would they pay for
It's my
minor league
favorite.
football? Oh, much better than minor league baseball. By the way, they have minimums depending on the tiers. So like a AAA player makes more than a single A player.
And honestly, that was another selling point that I was going to bring up when y'all were talking about the baseball, because those games are so much more affordable. You know.
Oh yeah, for
NFL
a
games.
casual fan.
Yeah, I mean, even Tennessee is a small market, and it's pretty easy to get tickets right now. But even here, it's not very affordable for a lot of people. So, that would be an easy way for people to take their families to a minor league game. They're usually a little more easy going anyway. So,
Gotcha. So I guess that's probably good on the off the field structural support system NFL redo. But we also have some on the field shit to take care of. The most important one that all of you, I'm sure, are worried about, kickoffs, which are just so they're so fun. If you remember the original kickoffs from all the way from 2 years ago, it was exciting. Devin Hester had a job. It was great. People were running all over the place and smashing into each other. And did you know that there's not very many kickoff related injuries in the NFL?
No.
It's more about the repeated head-to-head hits rather than the one-time big ones. Now, granted, of course, there are going to be injuries in every phase of the game. Sometimes kickers blow ACLs, so it's
Or
just
try
part
to
of the
tackle
game.
people
And
and
it's
get
fun.
themselves hurt.
Like that Penn State kid.
Yeah.
like
Big
Andy
bowling
Dalton
ball,
every
man.
season.
Andy Dalton. Well, stop throwing interceptions, Andy, and then that takes care of itself. Justin Tucker and John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens actually they'd been discussing this recently and had some cool ideas. The first idea, I don't know if I'm for necessarily, but it's interesting. Justin Tucker had the idea, and now he's keep in mind he's 12th in the league amongst kickers for touchbacks. I think he's got like 35 or something touchbacks. But he said if you hit the ball through the uprights on a kickoff, your team should get a point.
I agree with that. I
like it.
It's
I
kind of
definitely
interesting,
agree with that.
right?
Yeah.
It would add this sort of like except the only thing I have with that is that the other team can't really play defense.
Yeah.
So,
But it would
okay.
put some strategy
At the same time,
into
that's such a
the
Herculean
picking.
stunt that I feel like if they can get that point, more power to them.
Appreciate the cutoff, Don. That would put a little more strategy in the where you want to defend from, I guess. Like I wouldn't. I guess you would always say, okay, so you can have the kick, you can have the ball. We'll kick off to you, but we want to defend so that in the fourth quarter you're kicking against the wind. I guess I kind of get that on kickoffs, but that'll only happen like anytime you score. So that's like 4 to 5 times. Now, Justin Tucker said that he probably personally could put it through the uprights like 1 in 5 times. So what do you think about that? Now, John's for the point per uprights. Now, Sebastian Janikowski will lead the league in points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
do you have nothing?
No, so here's the thing with that. So in Canada, in Canadian football, they have a rule called the Rouge, and what it is they don't have fair catch rules like we do. And so what happens is if a guy can't return the ball out of his end zone on a kickoff, then it is a rouge and the other team scores a point. I've always liked the idea of single point scoring, even in football, other than as an attack on point, because you get so many games where it is 24-23, and you'd like for a team to be able to try to sort of I'll call it easily, go for that single point to be able to tie up the game. Again, that to me adds competition. I know Lou would lose his fucking mind because it's probably going to create more ties, to be honest with you. But I think it creates more competition.
So what if in tandem with this, we eliminate the extra point? And we go only 2-point conversions. But because you scored, you'll automatically get the shot at the 1 point from the deep kick.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I would rather do that.
I think that adds
plus
more
the kickoff.
I think if we have to have a continuation play, like an extra point or a 2-point conversion, the 2-point conversion is always 100% of the time more exciting than the extra point.
Way more exciting than the extra point. Now, extra points have been getting, because they pushed it back, have been getting blocked more. But what if you move the kickoff to the same spot that it is now, so you don't move it back or anything? Because that's still a long fucking kick.
Right.
What is that, like 75 yards?
Yeah, it's a boomer.
It's a healthy one. So if we got rid of the extra point, is that something you guys are willing to do, or do you want to keep the extra point?
No,
Joel?
I mean, y'all are definitely adding some excitement. My question would be, and you kind of touched on it, do you let people defend that now?
Yeah, I don't know how to
situation
do that.
where
like maybe you get up in their face and maybe you can jump.
Yeah,
but like 5 yards out.
I was about to say, maybe relax the roughing the kicker rules a little bit.
And just fucking kill the kickers. You should put snipers in crow's nests. And if they can shoot the ball, if he hits his foot, who cares? We shoot the ball. Yeah.
There's
That's fine.
So
that's a very Dom Aldi plan, but I like it.
If they did that, it would not be the only situation where there is an undefended scoring opportunity. I think you just leave it an undefended scoring opportunity and move on, because it's a low percentage play.
It's so long, and if it's raining at all, it's like fuck.
I like
all these arena teams would probably score more points.
Probably so.
They kind of do anyway, though. So
and I like that, those single points and stuff would definitely add like a sense of urgency to the game. People
especially the 2-point conversions.
Yeah,
you could make up for that with a successful 2-pointer.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I want to add, just for fun though, the most exciting kickoff I've ever seen was the old XFL one, and it's horrible for player safety. But they used to
what do they do?
They used to put the ball at the 50-yard line.
Oh, and they fucking fight over it?
Yeah, one player from each team starts at like the 20s, scrum? And they run full speed, and whoever gets the ball first gets the ball. So you had these crazy collisions right at midfield.
That's pretty fucking cool, actually.
Sounds like a rugby scrum. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
now
wild.
I wouldn't hate that if you could elect for it.
Yeah.
If you could be like, okay, we can receive a kickoff and they have a chance at 1 point, or hear me out, we could try to kill each other for that ball. So that's interesting.
One small.
It was exciting.
Another idea that they had was if you kick it out of the back of the end zone, basically it removes kneeling, like receiving the ball and kneeling, or if you kick it out, so no touchbacks. So in this case, you would move it back a little bit, probably another 5 yards. If you get a touchback, they take the ball on the 10 or 15 instead of the 20 or 25. So you get it's a strategic advantage to kick the fucking ball super hard.
Yeah.
Now, if it goes through the uprights, they would take it at the normal spot, I would assume, for competition's sake.
That would
you wouldn't want to double up on the fuck you.
Yeah,
I do like getting rid of the touchback, from the kneeling, because that's super boring. Just waiting for them to kick it off, just so somebody can kneel it, and the play ends.
Right. So force them to take it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can do
it.
What you could do in the effort of player safety is, okay, returners, you can take it out and you can do whatever you want. You can also QB slide and be, and say, okay, I'm down here. This is wherever I got, and that's fine too. I think that's fine because that in the for the effort of player safety, you should give them the option to not have to sell out and hurt their bodies if they don't want to. But you're forced to take it out anyway. Why not try to fucking go for it? It brings the return back. It also brings strategy into the kickoffs, making the kickoffs more interesting, making them possibly worth a point. I think all of those would be actually super interesting. Dom, you look like you want to say something.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, I think that eliminating the touchback would do great just to bring back the run back, basically. It was always one of my favorite parts of college ball, watching, because they still run it back occasionally there. Just watching a run back and to see those monster hits come back would be great. And the introduction of the slide, like you said, would moderate sort of to a acceptable player safety level. And I think overall, all the changes proposed would be pretty great. I'm hesitant to eliminate the extra point, maybe move it back further.
Even more?
Maybe.
Further.
Oh, shit. No, I think where it's
I like where it's at now.
where it's at, they miss enough.
Yeah.
But I feel like forcing them into 2-point conversions is way more exciting.
So Sean actually asked an interesting question about that. He said, "What do you think of Tomlin constantly going for 2 under the current rule set?" I think that's a good aside question.
He doesn't constantly go for it, but he does quite often.
Well,
Very frequently.
I think it's because of the offense he has. That's a great play. I
agree.
think teams like the Raiders, the Lions, the Packers when they don't suck, teams like that, maybe even the Titans or the Panthers if they don't suck. Teams like that should go for 2 more often.
Well, and
Just
honestly,
because they have the players to fucking do it.
the Mike Tomlin thing, it seems like he does it so much, and guys like Jack Del Rio too, and Ron Rivera, they call him Riverboat Ron. It seems like they do it so much because all these other coaches are so scared. Like all these guys coach scared, man. They'd rather try a 62-yard field goal than try to get 3 yards. You know what I mean?
Well, that was Ron Rivera this week, though.
You're right. Or was that Rivera this week?
Yeah.
He Kubiak did it in the
They
Broncos.
punted instead of going for like 1 yard with Cam fucking.
So even Rivera's chickening out. But I mean, it drives me crazy. I wish teams would go for 2 a lot more. It's 2 yards, man.
I think forcing them is the best way to do it. I don't like the extra point. So fucking boring. I do think that you could maybe if you added an opt-out option where you could kick the kickoff like closer instead of going for the points, could add a strategy to like running the clock out. So for instance, if the Patriots are up 2 scores, we say, okay, we don't want the extra point or the 2-point conversion. Move us 10 yards. We're going to try to kick this shit out of the end zone for a touchback. Mm-hmm. So that you start on the 10 instead of the 25. Does that make sense? You could add some strategy. Because the best part of baseball to me is the strategy in the National League. The American League bores me, even though I'm a Tigers fan, very, very much. But I love when they have to play these interleague matchups because I like to see, oh, we're going to use this pitcher, but then we have to do a double switch, and maybe we'll just bunt the reliever because he only threw 3 pitches and he's our best guy. That's not the closer, or stuff like that. I just like the strategy of it, and part of the NFL's charm is their strategy on every single play.
Right.
And I feel like removing that from the extra point and the kickoffs is a disservice.
Well, and the extra point has such a weird feeling to it too, because it's this weird continuation play that obviously only still exists because football came from rugby. And if they're trying to kind of get away from the whole, I mean, if we were really going to play football for the reasons why it was named football, there would be a lot more drop kicking going on. There would be a lot more punting going on. Like, Randall Cunningham back in the day, every once in a while when they would decide it was time to punt, they'd line him up and he'd boot the ball 60 yards and just roll it down the field. You'd see a lot more of that if we were more concerned with kicking. So if we're kind of starting to minimize kicking in the game of football, at least American football, so let's find better ways to do it. And I think, man, I really like this idea.
Can you imagine
that extra?
Can you imagine watching this game and then maybe your minor league kicker's super good? I got a minor league kicker that's going to kick 70-yarders all the time. Fuck yeah! You could you'd have these interesting. You could even have because of the expanded rosters, you could have your long distance kicker specialist.
Oh yeah.
And then your accuracy guy, and it would actually make it interesting. It's literally the equivalent of a home run hitter.
I'll tell you
in
what
a pinch hitting spot.
what you probably see too is a lot bigger kickers. I mean,
Fuck
Janikowski's
yeah.
Yeah,
the
you see a lot
only
more
the only guy
Janikowski
that's
size.
pretty good size.
Yeah.
It always weirds me out when all these kickers are these tiny little guys. I mean, probably mostly because they were soccer players before, but you had a big guy that can put some power behind that thing. You know?
Yeah,
That'll
and
be
I like the idea of it would change the scoring variability so much that you would get very few super like
Very very few
you wouldn't,
ties.
you wouldn't have to
probably.
deal with ties like
Yeah.
and I know we don't deal with ties a lot because of the overtime, which we can discuss overtime if you want, because I think they should just change it to college. Start on
I
the
agree.
fucking 20
That's-
and do it. You get
Yeah.
one first down and then you're on goal and then go for it.
Yep.
Score or die. I love it. I
I'd say
did
that for you
like
since
the
they brought it out.
original.
I agree.
I did like the sudden death before, but I also like the idea of giving the other team a shot. So, like the Michigan-Ohio State game, I'm a Michigan fan. Like, I'm not an emotional
Question.
Michigan fan. Like, I didn't really care. It didn't ruin my day. It was super fun. That was a great fucking game.
Yeah.
And overtime was a huge part of it because it was just so fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, it'd just be great. Also, a side note, President Belichick down in the comments says the NFL is talking about showing fewer commercials. It'd be good for the game length. Could be 2 hours instead of 4. Probably looking at closer to 3 hours anyways. But I think if you're the NFL and you're like, okay, we want to show fewer ads, but how do we make up that revenue? Obviously, number one is to take up our scheduling and minor league team offers right now. And you could just make that the Jake, Joel, John, and then
There you go.
like undertext Dom.
I don't even know if I'm
plan.
old enough to be put on a legal document, but hey,
Right,
why not?
Right,
Well-
but if you want to exchange that, if they don't change anything else and they're just like, okay, we want fewer ads, I'm fine with like one patch on a uniform. It's like an ad. Like, the
Sure.
fucking dealers are also affiliates with Denny's.
Well,
Buy
so-
a Hobbit whole breakfast the next time. Something.
Steelers are way too good a team to be affiliated with Denny's. That's going on to Chicago.
Okay, the Browns can have Skyline Chili, and we can give Vikings the Denny's.
no, the Dolphins has to be Denny's because then
No, you get Waffle House.
because here's why. 1 week a year. 1 week a year they have to be called the Moon's Over Miami Dolphins. They have to be. They have to be, Jimmy.
Okay, if you didn't know, John is a dad.
Very much so.
And honestly, every time he tells one of those jokes, his wife gets pregnant. She keeps coming out.
Well, I've got a possible solution to the ad problem. Is something that soccer does. So the NFL halftime is only about 12 minutes right now.
Man,
So,
I was literally going to say the same thing, so I'm glad you
Yeah,
said
so let's add another, even just 5 minutes to the halftimes. That'll give you a lot of time to run at least 4 or 5 ads, maybe, and you won't have to screw with the the timing in the games. I think you could even take out some time in between the quarters, maybe, and all the TV timeouts. Like if you guys have been to an NFL
TV
game,
timeouts
Oh,
are
God.
stupid.
it. They're so
yeah, when
frustrating.
you're at a game,
When you're
it's
at the
like
game, oh,
they're
Get
all
another
standing
beer.
around ready to play, and they're waiting for the TV to come back on. So I think they could
It's
really
stupid.
tweak some stuff and figure that out.
Mhm.
We should be getting paid for this. What the
That's
hell are we
good.
doing,
We should
guys?
be getting paid for this. These are
Be
good
on payroll.
ideas.
yeah. Obviously we won.
Send a
Um,
stern letter to Roger Goodell.
I could talk about this for probably
Send-
7 hours straight and do a charity stream. But instead of that, I want to show you guys something super cool.
Okay.
So we're done with the NFL talk. We did from there. I think that's good. But I want to show you guys this, and I'm going to make this bigger.
All right.
And have you ever seen this? All you got to do is click on my face, John. And we're good to
Glue
go.
gun.
We are. Yeah. Look at this. It's called the Fondoodler. And what this does right here, I don't know if you can't read this. This right here, it's like a glue gun,
Yeah.
but you stick cheese in it,
We must have it.
and it melts it, and it gives you cheese. Look at this. Look at
Oh,
this.
that's fantastic.
I don't know if this is actually
He's
this is
making
DMCA
nachos.
violation. Look at this.
I hope
He just
not.
packs it filled with
Try.
cheese, and then
cool,
he
you
puts
already
that
got a
right on a
logo for that.
goddamn chip. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Brilliant.
It's not squeezy cheese. It's one like look at this. It
It's
comes
real
in
cheese?
pieces. Oh, it's real cheese. You can do whatever kind of cheese you'd like. Look at this. Look at those goddamn not. You can make a cheese house.
A cracker house.
New Christmas
It's a whole
tradition.
new
ladies and
phrase on
gentlemen.
the Cracker House.
Right, and I'm pretty
Goodbye,
sure there's a
gingerbread
Kraft
house,
singles,
cheese house.
Kraft singles, and the guy who put it together is like, I don't know, I have some lettuce. I guess I have saltines, lettuce, and cheese. What meal could I make?
It's a happy tree.
This is the one.
Very
Oh, look at those
happy.
nachos, though. Look at that gross processed cheese. I
Yeah.
want it in my mouth.
It's the good stuff. Yeah, can you
Oh,
shoot
man.
it directly into your mouth, or is it like too hot?
Oh, I'm sure you. It's probably hot, but I mean, like, you know, it's only
Worth it.
$25.
I wonder what else you can put through that.
By the way, I really loved this. The fact.
Whoa.
Is it real? Yes. This is not a weird Kickstarter. Fondoodler is real and glorious.
Jake is just
Glorious.
having a moment. This is not a paid ad.
No, this is not a paid ad.
Jake's
I don't
getting
care.
vapors.
Okay, who the fuck did this though? You had street tacos and you're like, I don't know, American cheese. Okay.
I can't
This is-
show
you
this
know
to
what?
Oh,
my-
there's Doritos next to it?
I can't show this
he-
to my wife. She will buy 4 of them.
Well, we only need one, honestly, unless you're gonna have a cheese fight, which is the best kind.
Well, there are 4
yeah.
of us in the house.
Cheese fight.
That's true. And,
Just
give
and
every-
soon
just give
5
both
because
kids-
the dad jokes don't end.
They don't
Uh,
stop.
So yeah, so that's
Can't
the Fondoodler, and I think it's fantastic.
Jake, they should just
Fun-
watch
I
this
found
and maybe
it,
they
I'm
can
dead.
send you one for free. You know?
Fondoodler should send me one for free
Yeah.
because
You just
goddamn,
get
that's
buffalo.
oh god, that's so glorious. It's beyond anything. Oh,
Well, you've seen the food 3D printers, right?
Jake actually
Sorry,
is.
I can't help myself. I'm
In
sure.
case you can't see, ladies and gentlemen, that is the most loving look Jake has ever made ever in history.
it's a cheese gun.
It's a cheese
It's a gun that shoots just cheese. Think of the applications of this. Oh,
Yeah, I
I
think-
have this cracker. I have this stale bread. I have a old taco. I would love some cheese on that. And then you do it. I assume you plug it into the wall. Very easy assembly. You stuff that fucker with cheese. Also, I didn't show you guys the part of the assembly. It comes with a tube brush, so you can brush that tube out.
Like you're
Melt the
cleaning up a barrel of a gun.
It's exactly like that because it's a Fondoodler cheese gun, Dom. They're not fucking around. The NRA endorses this. I'm sure of it. I didn't make that up.
Jake, after
Believe me.
Christmas, is going to be in his fucking bubble bath, just sitting there with.
Oh,
a
dude,
cheese
I'm
gun.
gonna have 2 and just fucking. I'm gonna fondue myself. It's gonna be an empty bath at first, and it'll just be filled with tears of joy, cheese, and semen.
Pour some
Oh.
sugar on me, it's just playing in the
Oh.
background. Just
See,
No, I mean I'm gonna be on Twitter, and you're gonna see me cheese cocky myself.
he's cocky.
I almost have to buy one of these now, don't I? I
Yes,
borderline
you do.
talked myself into this.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to buy it now.
So Sean asked, does Jake know what Cheese
The
Whiz is?
chat's
But you
going
got to
nuts.
understand, Sean.
No.
Cheese Whiz
It's not.
doesn't
No.
have-
Yes.
Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz.
You can put Fontina through this thing. You can.
No, you can put Gruyere. Like
Yeah.
I'm saying they're
Munster.
using American cheese. I'm gonna use some fucking like molten brie. Can you imagine having molten brie at hand? No, you can't because you don't have a Fondoodler.
Jake's gonna go out and find the cheddar that was made from like the last surviving of some type of water buffalo or something.
Do they make buffalo
Jake
cheese?
Eater?
Because I'm down with that. I will,
Yeah, they
I will
definitely
milk
make
a
buffalo
buffalo
cheese.
teat and eat its cheeses. I don't give a shit. And melt them in my cheese gun.
Park rangers come over. It's like, what you doing, guy?
Milking a buffalo for cheeses. And he's like, oh, you have a Fondoodler.
Cheese cocky.
Obviously.
Oh,
Like
that's the
a patch, a
hashtag right there, my
Fondoodler
friend.
patch, so you can identify one of your own.
Yeah, actually, the Packers
Buddy,
will
do
have
you
Fondoodler
Fondoodle?
patches right on their shoulders.
Yep.
Fondoodler, cheese
Full
cocky
fucking
yourself.
circle.
Never
Oh.
say we did not give you good Christmas ideas.
Anyways, so you're welcome for
It's our
this.
two penis.
I'm sorry it started off so shitty, but
Yeah.
god damn it.
It only got worse.
Yeah, basically. It only got worse. Also, Dom, for the record, is too young to cheese cocky just yet. We are waiting for him, and we will do it. It's gonna be on Pornhub under cheese cocky, which will be the only submission. So it'll be real easy to
Category.
find.
Blazing the way.
Yeah,
New territory.
Blazing. I'm tremendous cheese cocky. Anyways, So,
These
I'm pretty much done
cheese
with
are
this
the best
stream.
cheese cockies, and trust me,
I
I know
think-
my
I
cheese
think-
cock-
I think 54 minutes is plenty.
Plenty.
Oh. So,
Dom's
man.
decided to come to life now.
It only took 3 months. Jesus.
so John, you should well time the end of this stream, or did you?
I have not timed it. No, we're still
Oh,
live.
good. Oh, it's just in yellow. That's why. Viewers may be experiencing minor issues.
No.
These cocky related issues. I'm sure it's more of pants looking hard, sort of issues. Anyways, for these guys, there's 3 of us with beards, 1 of us that's not legal. This is RTP. She's cocky.